Hello Funny, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage, where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video is all about the ways in which you can make money from the comfort of your own home. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So all of us at one time or another like to think about maybe perhaps increasing that income that is brought into our household. Whether you bring in your day job income, you may have dividend income, but there are other things that you can think about to maybe increase that. And then maybe you might start your investing journey, or maybe you might save up for a holiday or some house decorating, or whatever that aim is for you, whatever motivates you to perhaps think about changing your financial circumstances. Use that as motivation to get started. So today's video, I have 5 ways in which you can make money from home. So the first one is to teach online. So if you have a skill in pretty much anything at all, you can market this as a teachable skill that you can teach other people. There are various platforms that you can do this through, and you might do an online course, you could do a workshop, you could do a mixture of the two, you could do coaching or mentoring. But online teaching is such a big industry and it is potentially really easy to get into. So for example, I have an e-course about how to reduce your food spend, which I'll leave a link below to. That's a course that I wrote quite a while ago now, and I do need to update a couple of the slides, but the work is already done, and you just leave it there and you promote it, you share it on social media channels, you get it so that it kind of gets hits from Google if you do your SEO right. And an online course like that, once you've made it, is entirely passive. Because once you've done that, you don't have to do any more work. Yes, you might have a Facebook group relating to that, or you might chat to people during the course itself, but the hard work has been done up front. If you do workshops, that tends to be either pre-recorded workshop, or most of the time that is a live event that people join and learn from you in person. I have done a couple of workshops around starting investing, and it has been the most positive experience. If you enjoy teaching people and interacting with people, then perhaps the workshop itself would be a good way forward for you to do that. But online teaching is such a big industry and has grown massively over like the past couple of years. So think about the kind of skill that you might have. Is there a particular area of interest that you know a lot about, that you feel that you could teach other people about that? The more in depth you can go, the better. If you're comfortable, you could record videos and upload them as part of your course, but you don't have to. You could create work booklets around the course. There's loads of things you can do to make that experience really good for potential clients, so potential people that you teach. And that can be really lucrative if you happen to hit a niche that maybe doesn't have a lot of people in it, and you can charge, don't go overboard with the charging, but charge what you feel it is worth. The hourly rate that you get might be really, really good depending on what your niche is there. But have a look around, think about the kind of things you enjoy and have a lot of knowledge around, and see if you can create that as an online teaching course. And see where it goes. You never know, it might take off. And there you can then start to think about how many of your courses would you have to sell to hit £100 a month, £500 a month. The amounts are kind of limitless, if you like, in that respect. The second one, and again this is to do with skills you already own, and so many people can do this if they just took the time to think about what they can already offer. Number 2 is to become a virtual assistant. So that is offering, basically being an admin person for someone else, but it is entirely online. So you don't go anywhere else, you don't potentially meet them in person ever, but you are working for someone else to do tasks that they want to outsource. So one of the common things in the blogging world is that people might outsource emails, so they don't like writing emails or responding to emails, they might outsource that. They might outsource writing their own newsletter, so they've got newsletter subscribers, they say they're going to write a newsletter once a month, they might outsource that writing of that newsletter to somebody else. You could do social media management, so looking at other people's social media and being in charge of that. So if you're a member of a Facebook group, quite often there are admins in there. Sometimes that is a paid position via a virtual assistant, so depending on the size of the Facebook group, for example, that could be a paid role. But you can do anything. You could answer phone calls with people, you could pitch to different people, you could write blog articles, you could write articles for the newspapers. Virtual assistant work is really high in demand. There is such a vast array of things you can do for it, and you can do that at any point. So long as you get the work done, you are not tied to the 9 to 5 schedule. In fact, if this was a kind of a side hustle, you probably wouldn't. But you could do everything on a night time, the time when you're sat home watching the TV, scrolling on social media. You could be doing virtual assistant work there and earning quite a lot of money. Some people charge by the hour for social media management via virtual assistants. Some virtual assistants charge kind of as a package. So say they're going to do your Facebook group, for example, that would be this amount a month. Depending on how you want to charge your services, virtual assistant work can be very, very good as earning money from home. Number 3, and again, if you've kind of searched earning money from home and side hustles, one of the kind of the favourite things at the moment seems to be, as a way of earning extra income at home, is to resell things. The way that this works is that you buy things from, say, charity shops or online auctions for quite a small sum, and then you resell them on at a higher sum for that profit. But the way you can get started with this is if you just look around your house. I bet there's so many things in your house that you do not use any longer, because I can tell you what, there's so many things in our house that we just don't use and that I probably should either sell or take to a charity shop. But reselling can be, and is for a lot of people, their entire source of income, because if you kind of hit different markets and different kind of styles and different things to buy, some of the profit margins can be absolutely massive. But as a starting point, have a look around your house, see what you can think, see if you can find 5 things after watching this video that potentially you could either sell on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. They're the 2 most popular. There is things like Vinted, Depop, there are different places, but eBay and Facebook Marketplace are perhaps the biggest 2 and the easiest to get started. Facebook Marketplace is the easiest to get started because most people come and get it from you in person, they just pay in cash. eBay, you'd have to set up an account and have a PayPal account linked, so that might take slightly longer. But reselling as a way of making extra income from home is really straightforward to start. The next 2 are slightly different, but I thought I'd mention these because as someone who uses stock photography quite a lot on my blog, the 4th way that you could earn money from home is by photography. So when bloggers use kind of pictures of desks or plants or things that are kind of very posed, if you like, sometimes they use what are called stock photos. So someone else has taken that photo, they've uploaded it onto a site, and people can buy that photo. It doesn't often cost a lot, but if you have a camera and you're good at photos and you have kind of like an eye for things, selling your photographs online, or even as like on Etsy as a print of different photos, if you take kind of like landscape photography, like things outside and wildlife, then that could be a way forward. But if you're good at photography, then this could be a really good way of earning money from home, especially if you do it as a kind of a print at home service. So you're not sending anybody anything, they print out the photo at home. But the stock photos for bloggers and businesses don't have time often to take their own photos, so they would outsource that, or they'd buy in these things from these online like portfolios, if you like. So have a look into that if you like photography. I'll leave a link below to a website that I use to get free photos, but there are paid versions of those as well. So just have a look. All you need is a camera and maybe a bit of time to get used to what works and what doesn't, but then that can be a great way of making money from home. And the last way, and I suppose this extra income from home method is a bit variable at the moment because of the certain circumstances that we're in. But this is if you've got a spare room in your house, then you could rent out that spare room either as like a monthly basis to a lodger, or on Airbnb if you live in like a particularly touristy place, or maybe in a city where people come and work for the week and then go home, and you have a spare room and don't mind someone else being in that spare room, then renting that out is a really easy and fairly lucrative way of getting some extra money. It does depend on how you feel about sharing your house with someone else. I suppose the circumstances that you live in will dictate whether that's like you can do that or not. We wouldn't do that as a family with 2 young children, but if you look online, it's called house hacking, where people buy, as normally as a single person, buy like a 4-bedroomed house. They live in one of the rooms and they rent out the other 3, and the income that they make from the other 3 rooms being rented out pays for their mortgage and expenses and whatever. It's called house hacking, and it's can be a really good way of kind of balancing out your expenses. But if you have got a spare room and your circumstances are as such that you could potentially think about that, then have a look online. So you could either do it kind of like a long-term rent, so like a monthly rent, or if you are not happy with that and maybe want to do a week or so and see how it goes, then Airbnb is the one for you. But they are 5 easy ways of making money from home. You don't have to leave your front door. You don't even have to get out of your pyjamas to do them if you don't want to. But these are 5 ways that you can make that extra money, and then you can decide where that extra money goes to. So for me, any of the extra income that I make via side hustles, once I've saved money for tax and national insurance, it either goes in our emergency fund, our sinking funds, or investments. So it's going towards something that I have a direct plan for that. I have a page in my budget planner that has extra income, and it talks about you need to make a plan as to where that extra income goes once you've got it, just so it doesn't kind of disappear into everyday life like things do, don't they? So have a plan, but there's some easy ways to make money from home. Do you have any other ideas? Let me know down in the comments below. I love talking to people about ways to make money, ways to improve your financial journey. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.